Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went sci-fi when we built the squareness gun from Doctor Who. And if you missed that build, we're going to include the link to our channel's homepage in the description below so you can go there and check out Squareness Gun or any of the other super cool builds there. But for this build, we are going to go, I guess, action-adventure. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. That's right, check that out. It is the Bison Axe from Power Rangers Wild Force. Check that thing out, man. That is sweet. Got the double blades on there. Very metallic, really simple color scheme, silver, black, and this super jammin' detail on the handle. So we've got the handle, kind of a beveled butt end to the handle. We've got a bunch of layered up jazz here in the middle, creating that little bull face on there, which is pretty darn cool. And it wraps through to the other side, pretty neat. These cool tapers on the blade, really jamming. Gives it that nice blade-like look. So, in this episode, making an EVA foam Bison Axe Part 1, we're going to begin going step by step through how to make this. And we have a template for this too, so if you want to build your own, follow along with us. We'll include the link to the storefront in the description below so you can go pick up a template. So that's it. Enough of me flapping my gums. If you're ready to hit it, let's make something. We're going to stick things to this side and to that side of this 12mm piece. So all we really need to do to prepare this is cut off our edges. There you go. I don't know, like we always talk about, don't fly by your hand at 100 miles an hour. You don't want to lose a finger. Going to the emergency room is a stone cold drag, so don't mess up. All right, here we go. Here is our 12mm base. Now we're going to bring our first piece in, which is going to be this 6mm piece. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to cut these out, and for this we can use our X-Acto knife. All right, there we go. This is really easy stuff. Now we're just going to come in and knock out this other piece. All right, there we go. There's both of them. Now, let's move all this out of the way. What we're going to be doing is this. As we made our marks on here, we're going to be coming in and we're going to be lining these pieces up right on our marks like this. And we're going to do that on both sides. All right, so what we're going to do is we used this template to come in and make our marks for lining up. So let's flip it over. Trace an outline so we know where we're gluing. All right, so we're going to glue these one side at a time. All right, we're going to tighten up our foam before we glue. You don't have to do this, but I like to. All right, there we go. Give it a couple minutes to dry and then the cement can make contact. And right here. All right. Alright, now the reason we do this is it just tightens up the surface of the foam a little bit, makes it smoother when you're gluing. Just like that. Remember, we always say this, don't just drop it down. Even though you drew your lines and we cut everything out to fit, you have to really watch what you're doing. Bend it. Because foam bends and it bends really easy. Alright, there we go. Set up on both sides, really cool. Okay, we transferred this line from our template. We used our template, and we've got our line in the middle. We're going to cut this out on the bandsaw. Alright, there we go. We did some bandsaw and some scroll saw for the tighter corners. Alright, there it is. On both sides. Alright, here's our next piece, a 24mm piece of foam. Now what we're going to do is this, okay? We're going to do this in a couple different cuts. Alright, so we're going to draw our line on here. Right here. And right here. Okay, we're going to make those two cuts on the bandsaw because we want a 90-degree cut on the side. Alright, there we go. Now we know we have a 90-degree edge. Now we're going to come in and we're going to roll this up onto the edge just like this. Alright, we're going to line up the back edge of this with that. Right there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do this side cut first. Alright, so this is 3 3/8 of an inch. Okay, we're going to stand this up and we're going to go through the bandsaw to cut these off. Alright, there we go. Look at that. We got our cool side cut and we rolled it over and did our top cut. Now we've got this cool little like tapered piece right here. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to do a second one of these because one is going to go on both sides. Alright, real easy. We laid it up on its side and did our side cut with the taper. Then we laid it down and did our full cut. And then we put our... Alright, there we go. We've got 2 of them done. Really easy stuff. We just did multiple cuts and there we go. Alright, now we're going to come in with this 4mm piece. Alright, now we're going to be cutting this out with our X-Acto knife. And we made a slight adjustment because this is going to wrap around the pieces we just cut. And so we came in with our paper template and we lined it up right here and noticed these edges are just a little bit too long, right here and here. So we adjusted our line right here. We always talk about this, you got to measure, even though you have a template, you got to measure as you're building to make sure everything's going down right. Alright, so now this is going to be really easy stuff. We're just going to come in by hand and we're going to Alright, there we go. Perfect. Now we're going to cut out this little centerpiece. And what we're going to use to help us is... Alright, looks like this is the winner right here. Let's sharpen it up with our Dremel. Alright, now we're going to come in and we're going to pop out the corner. Look at that. Like 3 spins and it goes right through. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we're going to come in and we're going to line up from edge of circle to edge of circle. Go right through just like that. All right, there we go. Bam! Look at that. Now, if you get a little hiccup in there, you can come in with your Dremel. Just like that, clean it up. All right, there we go. Nice, clean corners. Okay, so now we've got our dust mask on, we've got our pieces ready. We're gonna come in with our Dremel, and we're gonna soften the edge all the way around here. All right, there we go. We've got a slightly softened edge. That's all we wanted. Doesn't have to be crazy. Okay, now we're going to come in. We're going to lay this down. That's where it's going to go. We're going to bring this little mouthpiece of our template in. We're going to hold it right there. All right, there we go. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with our X-Acto knife, and we're going to make a cut right there. We're going to start right before the edge, and we're going to come right through to there in the center, and then right through to there. There we go. All right, now we're going to bring our heat gun in. We're going to let it get hot. We're going to hit this to seal it where we dremeled, and when we hit it, it's going to open up these creases. All right, here goes the creases. There you go, just like that. All right, see the difference? All right, now let's do this one. All right, there it is, right there. Nice. All right, there we go. All right, we've got this sealed. We've got this sealed. We opened up our creases. Okay, now here we have a leftover piece of 12mm foam. You're going to end up with a lot of leftover foam in your shop, but it's perfect. So we're going to use it for our two horns. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to knock these out on the scroll saw. No, sorry, we're actually going to use the bandsaw for this. All right, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice. All right, now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming in here with the Dremel, and we're going to be beveling right up to that line right there. All right, so we're going to get our dust mask on. All right, there we go. We've got a nice beveled edge around the whole thing. Now we're going to come in and we're just going to clean it up. We've got some little fuzzies around the edge. We're going to cut those off. All right, we're going to come in with our 220 sanding stick. All right, now we're going to heat seal these. Nice. Foam tightened up. Edges are beveled. Let's clean up. I hate this mess. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the horns to the sides of the face right here. So let's make a little mark on both sides. Right at this bottom edge of this little angle and flush with the back. Right, now don't just drop it down. Let's make sure that the top lines up and the back lines up right there. All right, there we go. Edge lined up right here, and then we want to line up the back and the front. All right, so the back is lining up and the front is lining up just like that. See that? Just take your time. Sweet, it's a bullhead. Now let's do this one. All right, there we go, perfect. Now, these are gonna come in on both sides of our piece just like this. But what we're gonna do first, before we do that, is we're gonna cut this out. All right, we came in with our pattern. All right, we put our pattern in here and we flipped it onto both sides. And as you can tell, this pattern comes a little bit short right here, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. All right, so we're gonna have this little jog in the cut right here and right here. All right, and then down here on this back end, what we're gonna do is this, okay, is we have where our horns need to line up here and here, which means that there's a little bit extra right here on the front, right here. So we drew our line, so we're gonna cut this little piece out right here. We're gonna make an adjustment so that the front of this head rests right up against the front edge. This is a good example of how even though you drew the template and we cut everything out right, as you're building, stuff stretches a little bit. We gotta make this little adjustment right here. So when this lines up, it's gonna be flush at the top and it lines up down here at the bottom. Slight adjustment, and then we're gonna be cutting right down this line and then straight down to here on both sides, all right? We left that because we wanna make that cut now, all right? So we're gonna go over to the bandsaw and the scroll saw and we're gonna cut this piece out. All right, there we go. Look at that. That is cool. All right, there we go. Now when this dries and it's time to stick, we're gonna have to be doing some muscling on here, but we should be able to pull it off. That's one. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna have to be careful, all right? Because we're going to have to come in and line up our horn right here at the corner, all right? Now we're going to have to wrestle this thing into place, okay? Because we have to have it flush right here. All right, now we're gonna come in along this front edge here and we're going to flush it here, which is good so far. All right, all the way around the edge. Now perfect. Now we've got some wrestling to do down here to line the bottom edge up. Right there, perfect. All right, now let's get right along here. And we're going to stretch it right to there. All right, now we're going to line up all along this edge like that. All right, you saw that. That was a wrestling match, but foam gives, and that's why you got to do it. Okay, we started at this corner right here, and we lined up along this edge flush and all the way along this edge flush, okay? And then we came in and we lined up along that edge flush, and then we had to make sure that this edge matched up at the same time this top edge matched up. Okay, then we rolled over to this side and had to do the same thing. Make sure that this lays down flush here, that the horn matches up with this bottom area here, here, and all the way to here. All right, and there you go, we did it. You can hardly tell that it doesn't fit on there exactly perfectly. Wow, is that cool? All right, now we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna take our time, we're gonna glue this, and we're going to wrestle it into place. All right, there we go. That is really cool, really cool. All right, now we're gonna spend a little bit of time. Actually, we're gonna do one more thing first. All right, we're gonna come in with this piece and we are going to feed it through here. We're going to wrap it right through this middle area like that on both sides to create that face detail right there. Look at that. And that little space that we cut out right down here. That little square wedge we cut out, this is going to lay in there perfectly flat and wrap right around the front. Really nice. All right. We've got our spot marked here. We've got our spots marked up here and here. Alright, we're going to lay it down flush with that corner at the top. Alright, so we're locked up here and here, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, now we're going to slide this through here. Okay, now we're going to have to stretch it because we want to make sure that we come over and our side here hits and our side here hits. All right, we just did it. We locked it down in place, which is good. We get our face down. There we go. All right. Wow. Makes the face of a bull right there. That is pretty sweet with the mouth on it from the creases we made. Wow, that thing's jamming. The little chin areas hanging over a little bit here and a little bit here. All right, that's the price you pay for having such an elaborate two-sided affair. So we're gonna take the end off so it's nice and flush, and that flat end is where our handle's going to go. All right, so we'll be able to send this through the bandsaw, take this off, and re-round the edges with the Dremel. So let's do that first. Knock this off on the bandsaw. All right, we had an accident at the bandsaw. It grabbed a hold of our piece and tore it up on the edge. So we're gonna have to get in here and try to fix it. See that? We used our super rough bit to tear it up, get it smoothed back out. Not a problem. Now we're going to come in with the smooth bit. We've got a tiny little piece of foam right here that's not perfectly cut because it's hard to do it on two sides at the same time. So we're going to come in, take our time. We're going to saw right through here like this very gently. Now we're going to come in and saw across the bottom like that. There we go, just like that. Fixed it. Perfect. We are going to come in and we are going to, all right, we're just cutting the middle part out. Halfway through our end piece like that. And then the other line we want to line up to is going to be this corner right here. All right. And here, just like that. All right. Now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side of the blade. Make a center line all the way through our blade, like this. Okay, there we go. We have the inside line, the outside line, and we have the center line, all right? Now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be coming in with our Dremel, and we are going to Dremel the edge of this so that it tapers down and stops right at that line. Then we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna do the same thing from this side so that we have a nice taper on our blade. All right, we have our dust mask on, gloves on. We're gonna start tapering our blade. Right to the center line. It's a nice smooth taper. Now we're going to flip around to this side and we're going to do the same thing. All right, look at that. We've got the taper on this side, and you flip it over and we've got the taper on that side. Wow. Look at that blade, man, coming to a nice taper. All right, now it's a little bit rough, so we're gonna go over it a little bit, clean it up, and then we're gonna come in with our sanding sticks and hit it and smooth it out. All right, here's our 220 sanding stick. We're gonna come in and smooth that out. Oh, wow, that really works nice. All right, there we go. That's a beautiful, smooth taper right there. All right, let's get our heat gun out. Let's seal that up so it tightens up. All right, there we go. Look at that. That is pretty cool, man. Nice, just enough to have a really cool taper. See that? Right there. Wow, look at that. Not hard. All right, that's it. Now we're gonna do the same thing to both sides of this blade. Yeah, there it was. Man, we got a long way through this thing. We got the whole assembly built from the head here up through the blades. And you saw us finish up by doing this cool taper on the end of the blade. A lot of dust, a lot of mess, and a lot of work, but it's not hard. Totally easy. So far, so good. That concludes making an EVA foam Bison Axe Part 1. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together, we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.